Hello there, welcome to this video, part 2 in the 10 minutes at the piano series. In the previous video, which I encourage you to watch, we looked at the mind triangle, which is part of the mind-body piano sequence of order for a Water Pianist. So in the mind, we have the mind triangle with the natural self, the conscious mind, the ego, and the inspirational source. The conscious mind is able to differentiate between the negativity of the ego and the positivity of the inspirational source. And we also looked at your musical personality, the kind of music that you like, the sounds that you like, and your intentions and purposes and reasons for actually playing the piano. All these things take place away from the piano. You don't need a piano for those things. The second part, the body, briefly looked at the end, involves finger independence, lower or forearm and upper arm and shoulder strength. You can do your own research for exercises which are safe and suitable for you individually. Perhaps you have injuries of some kind. I don't want to tell you to do something and then damage you. But strengthening the body and the arms and working on finger independence is something that you can do and you should do away from the piano. This video is going to focus on part 3, which is the piano. And the reason I've called this video the invisible piano is because I'm going to introduce you right now to a very unique concept called the internal piano. In my jazz piano book, I developed the idea of the internal piano to help people to create improvisational ideas and to learn chord sequences. And I developed the idea to becoming a whole piano ideology for all pianists of all levels. And it works like this. The idea is that what you can see on the piano right now when you're playing the piano is exactly what the mind can see in itself. You just don't know that yet. You're not aware of that because you have never thought about it. But what's actually happening is your fingers are playing what they are playing, whatever your level is. If you're a 10-year experience or 10 days experience, your fingers are only playing what the mind could imagine them playing if you were away from the piano. So if I know the melody of a song like A Foggy Day, that's A Foggy Day, I could play that melody in my mind away from the piano. The only reason I need a piano is because I want to share that with other people, or just to satisfy myself. I like to listen to myself playing. That's not just me, of course, but people should enjoy listening to themselves playing. So the idea of the invisible piano and the internal piano, the same can be applied to all the creative arts. Think of a sculptor and a block of stone. And this is really important to imagine. He has a block of stone. He can already, or she can already see what is desired in that block of stone. But the only reason that it exists is so that it can be carved and chipped away to create the image that the sculptor saw before cutting. So the block was not necessary for the sculptor to be a sculptor. The same can be said for an artist. The canvas is not required, or the paintbrushes are not required, because the image is already in the mind. A writer doesn't need a pen, because he already knows what is to be said. This is the idea. So a pianist doesn't technically need a piano to strengthen the muscles, to visualize scales, chord sequences, to listen to music online, and internalize song melodies, to read knowledge, to read theory. All these things can take place away from the piano, muscle strength, etc. You can go to the gym, you can buy contraptions to develop your muscles and finger independence. You can do on the table. You don't need a piano for that. So there are many, many, many things that you can do for weeks and months before you actually go and buy a piano. And you'll be amazed at how quickly you actually become really good, because you're doing things in a very natural way, rather than deciding you want to play the piano, going to the shop the next day, buying a course book, book 1, buying a piano or an electric piano, going home and opening the book. You're already going in the wrong direction if you're doing that. You must start with the mind. You must strengthen the body, and then the piano comes, but you must understand that the piano is not technically necessary, just as the stone is not necessary for the sculptor, the canvas for the artist, or the pen for the writer. It's just to share with other people. That's the only reason those things exist. So in terms of the piano, and the invisible piano, and the internal piano, I'd like to get you to start using your internal piano, and I'm going to introduce you to something called the 12-note block. The 12-note block starts from the white note before the 2 black notes and ends on the white note after the 3 black notes. And on the video I can see that is what you want to see in your mind, from here to here. So from this first note here until this note. There are 12 notes here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then it starts again. So if you observe the piano itself, you have 2 black notes, 3 black notes, 2 black notes, 2 black notes, and then lots of white notes. Now, of course, these don't need to be black and white. They could be any colour. So don't get into the mind frame of black and white keys, because they could all be multicoloured. I'm just saying black and white because that's what they are physically, but there's no meaning behind that. So you need to see this 12-note block. And if you can, try to double it up here, and then even go down here and see another one down here. Make it as wide as you need when you are using it away from the piano. And what you're going to use it for first is to identify a few major scales. Major scale, what is that? Here's your first piece of theory. It's important to note that theory does not affect your inherent ability. Theory is only for communication. It is simply words about words. I can tell you that this is such and such a chord, that this is a particular scale. It doesn't matter what it is. It already exists without a label. It just is what it is. So with any theory that I give you, detach yourself from that theory and know that it is only words about words stored in a part of your mind which is not going to affect or interfere with your playing. Okay? What I'm going to give you now is the major scale, and I'm going to give you a template for that. But there's one piece of knowledge that you need to know, and it's basically the only piece of knowledge that you need to know to play the piano. Half steps, whole steps. And this is such an easy idea, it's going to take less than 10 seconds. A half step is one note to the next. It doesn't matter if it's black or white. And a whole step is 2 halves. So from here, it would be to here. 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 It doesn't matter if it's black or white. Okay? That's the idea. Whole steps and half steps. And you are playing a scale based on whole steps and half steps. All different scales are based on whole steps and half steps, and a combination of those. And I'm going to give you the most important one, and you must learn all 12 in the 12-note block. If you spend on your internal piano 1 day per scale, that's 12 major scales, which is all there are, and you will be set for the rest of your piano career, especially if you can do it on your internal piano. So we're going to light up your internal piano today, right this moment. After the video, go away and follow this template. Whole, whole, half. Whole, 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 half. Again, whole, whole, half. Whole, 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 half. Whole is W-H-O-L-E, not H-O-L-E. And what you do is you start on any of the 12 notes. You can go through them progressively like this if you wish. And you're going to then, once you have selected the note, you're then going to do whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So in the key of C, doesn't matter about what the letter is, I'm just saying this is the key of C, you're going to go whole, whole, half, whole, 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 and the final half takes you back to the same note. That just happens to be all white notes. None of the others are only white notes. They're mixes of black and white notes. So what I'd like you to do is to internalise visually without a piano all of these major scales on your internal piano. That will be very helpful for video 3 and the rest of your piano life. And you will thank me one day. Thank you very much for watching. All the best. Bye for now.